How's it going, everybody? This is Novakast back with another video, and with this one we'll be doing a review, though kind of changing up the setup for this because I'll be talking about a documentary. And honestly, if you're a fan of horror, if you're a fan of Nightmare on Elm Street, if you don't know what Nightmare on Elm Street is, I recommend you guys check it out. This is Never Sleep Again: The Legacy of Elm Street, or The Elm Street Legacy. It's directed by Daniel Faralds and Andrew Kazak. Hopefully I said that name correctly. As well as written by Tommy Hudson. Now, this is close to 3 to 7. I almost said 7, but 3 to 4 hours. And basically, what this is this goes over a lot of the media that has been inspired by Nightmare on Elm Street. And honestly, it's a lot of fun to watch. Going from each film, as well as going on to the TV show. And for those who are surprised, yes, Nightmare on Elm Street did have a TV show. As well as talking about, actually, in one instance, music inspired by the films, that being Dream Warrior by Docket, as well as going over, at the very least, and actually just to an extent, they don't talk about the reboot, which I can't blame them for, but anyways, they go through any music that has been inspired by this franchise, the movies, the TV show, and including the, I guess, if anything else involving Nightmare on Elm Street. That, of course, being Freddy vs. Jason. And honestly, when it comes down to it, I guess going through this, it's a lot of fun, especially hearing like the witness, or like not witness testimony, but also just the interviews of the actors, the creators, the set designers, the costume designers. Every little thing is impressive to listen about. I think above all, when it comes down to sets or effects, my favorite has to be the rotating room, or if anything, the Johnny Depp death in the film of the first movie, where you have the blood coming, spurting out at the ceiling, which fun fact, almost electrocuted a few of the staff that were helping keep this thing keeping the rotating room steady. Watch the documentary. They'll talk about that. That's actually really funny. Not for them, but at the time, but to an extent, to have that happen is both horrifying and funny. But going further, it's a great experience to watch, as well as kind of seeing where a lot of them get their inspiration. I mean, for instance, the very inspiration for Freddy, as well as Elm Street. First, going over Wes Craven's inspiration for the character originally, where it starts off with, him seeing an article where a kid dies in their sleep when, at least explained in the article, the child is literally keeping themselves up, and when they have a nightmare, they don't wake up and they die. To the inspiration for Freddy himself being a creepy guy that would walk in the alleys or in between the houses of Wes Craven in his neighborhood, as well as literally the street, Elm Street, being to an extent significant in history, including the possible connection of Elm Street being the exact street where JFK was assassinated. All in all, there is a lot of detail that is discussed into what inspired people to do the things they did for these films, and I love it. So, to an extent, I ask you guys to go check it out. Honestly, my personal opinion, especially with talking about this, I would give it a 10 out of 10. The quality in of itself is pretty good. And again, it was released in 2010, and there is a lot to talk about. Again, from the movies to the TV show to what was quite possibly one of the final films, I guess to an extent, I guess you could say to the canon, that of course being The New Nightmare, as well as the extended content being Freddy vs. Jason. But all in all, this was a pretty good documentary. So again, if I were to give this rating, it'd be a 10 out of 10. Honestly, it's a pretty good documentary. I loved it. 3-4 hours, just, and let's say if you want to work, and you just want to pop it on, listen to it as you're working and stuff like that. There's a lot to talk about, or at least a lot discussed. So, with that, I don't think I have anything else I need to add. If there's anything you guys like to add, leave in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Novakast signing off. Have a good one, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.